Certainly there are some political or there are some financial costs in terms of wasted resources associated with the conference that couldn't conclude in the way it was envisaged. But no doubt there are certainly some political costs involved as well. To share more on that perspective is political analyst Dr. John Molepo. Good evening to you, Dr. Molepo, and thank you very much for your time. I know you've been listening to that briefing by Nomvula Mokonyane and Obed Bapela, just sharing some details of what's been happening behind the scenes. I'm not sure that anyone who is aware of the history of the PEC in the province is, that for those people, it would be an unexpected outcome this weekend. What are your thoughts, Dr. Molepo?
Evening to you and evening to your viewers. I think the challenge obviously emanates from the IPC, which has always been mandated to take the province to the conference, or the ANC to the conference, and they failed this money. They've tried numerous times and they failed. Even now, some of the disputes that have been raised, I think the IPC could have long resolved this particular issue. But by the way, something that is interesting is that the Northwest Province has always been in crisis, and I think the way it has been handled, they've missed an opportunity to come as well as they deal with unity and renewal. I think they could have long dealt with this particular dispute that hindered this particular conference to take over, particularly looking at the ANC in the Northwest, which is losing massive support from the ordinary citizens out there.
You had Nomvula Mokonyane talk about the forfeiting of 32 votes. This would be those who constitute the IPC and the IRC, and that was a matter that had to be sorted out. Do you see anything untoward in terms of their exclusion being in part responsible for what is effectively the dysfunction of this conference concluding?
Well, I don't think, I think the decision that they've taken, which was forced by the courts, were correct to say these IRC and IPC should be excluded from participating in the conference, and allowing the ordinary branch members to participate, which obviously constitute, like she said, Nomvula, 97% of this particular conference. I think that was the best decision that they could have taken, particularly looking at these conflicts that are happening in this particular conference. So I think the decision taken there was one of the best decisions for looking at this particular time.
There seem to be forces determined to disrupt or to undermine the conference. You heard them share some details of a criminal case being lodged against two individuals who, it sounded like, actually attacked some of the administrative staff and made off with those tags. Just share with us your thoughts on why, and we've seen this with other ANC provincial elective conferences before, such levels of, underhanded behavior taking place.
Well, I think you must ask yourself then, obviously, why a person will do that. What interest does this person have whenever these things are happening? But I think in most ANC conferences that have ran now, we've seen peaceful conference going very well. But this one, you ask yourself, whose interest? Why are they doing this? But I know the stake is at high. That's why before nomination, we've seen close to 6 candidates vying for the position of chair position. So it tells you that this conference, people have a lot of interest. And the question is who and for what?
Do you have some thoughts on who those blocks or individuals might be, Dr. Molepo?
Well, I'm thinking anyone who will want to do this thing is somebody who might be losing a conference. Obviously, the person who will obviously notice that my numbers are not going very well. Why can I disrupt this conference? But I think that is hooliganism. I think the ANC currently should decisively deal with this kind of behavior, because the ANC does not need such image, such things happening to them, particularly knowing very well that the image of the ANC is really being taken.
This was an important moment, John, wouldn't you agree, for the Northwest to come back strong, given the tumultuous history over the last few years since 2018, the various task teams, the dissolution of the PEC, for them to show that there is unity, stability and cohesion in the Northwest. They certainly failed on that score. You heard Obed Bapela saying that, of course, there's incomplete business. That business might be attended to before the end of August. How important was the work in particular of the Northwest Province in this conference?
I think this was the best opportunity for the province to come back to restore its the crisis or whatever that they're going through, to bring a good image of the ANC. I think these conflicts they're going to deepen these divisions within the province, and this will also culminate to a process wherein the ANC might win, might lose more supporters in 2024. I think the unity in Northwest is a rhetoric, it's a fallacy. I don't think currently the ANC in the province will come united. That's why I'm saying the leadership, the national leadership must ensure that the elected leadership should ensure that they drive unity process and renewal process of the ANC, though it will be a difficult process to unfold. But this is good for the ANC coming 2024, because once these people are divided, definitely the ANC will lose the province.
Political analyst Dr. John Molepo, thank you very much for sharing your perspective on the developments there in the Northwest as the ANC attempted to elect its provincial elective committee. Of course, that process now being deferred.